Hey guys, hope everything is going well. You guys know that drill. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment down below. Follow me on Instagram at AIH underscore sports. And follow me on my finance channel at AIH Finance. All right. Picked up this card. I got it for 11 bucks shipped, or $11.50 about. Shipped to my house. It was on eBay. Sent an offer, I think about 5, $6 or something like that, or $6, and then after sales tax shipping, came back to my house shipped. Not bad. $11.53. 2019 Panini Chronicles, Roy Ochimara, number 87. It's a PSA 10 card, and this was the strategy that I was telling you about. I'm looking for PSA 9s, PSA 10s, sometimes CSG 8s, 9s, 10s. They're usually of Hall of Famers that aren't playing now. I just happened to pick this up. It was during the daytime, and I was just sending a bunch of offers, lowballing a bunch of people, and I'm like, okay, let's see if someone bites. This person actually did, and yeah, I think this card sells somewhere between $8 to $10. So getting it shipped for $11.53, not bad. And if this dude goes to another team in the next few years, could his card value increase at that moment, and then it dumps down? It could. And if I'm forced to liquidate this, or if I don't want it, I still think that I could get $6 to $8. So it's not going to be that big of a loss if I had to force sell it or sell it. Anyways, I wanted to look at Howard Marks' book again, and I'm going to look at this from the chapter Mastering the Market Cycle, and I'm going to talk about where I think we are in this cycle. And because I think Jeremy Lee was talking about this. I'm going to return this book actually today. I should have a long time ago. But I'll go through this, and you can comment down below where we think we are, and what are you doing right now in terms of your buying habits. The tendency of basic themes to repeat and of history to rhyme. The tendency of things to rise and fall, especially those determined by human nature. The way each development in a cycle has implications for the next. And these are the things that he's talking about that are concerning for the market cycle, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. The way that various cycles interact and influence each other, the role of psychology in pushing cyclical phenomenon beyond rational levels. And that was last year in February and March of 2021, where you had all of this excessive bullishness at that time. Not the best time to buy unless you bought a really scarce card that no one was looking at. And then the next part is thus the tendency of cycles to go to extremes. Once again, February and March of last year was an extreme. The tendency to move from extremes back toward a midpoint. Okay, this is where I think we're at right now, where you don't see the crazy amount of bullishness in sports cars like you saw last year, but people are still buying. If you go to sports card shows, people are still buying cards, right? They're selling cards. People aren't at a level of, look, I don't want to touch sports cards anymore. Screw sports cards. I'm done with sports cards. Yes, you may see less content creators. Yes, you may see, for some of the channels, less people watching. But at the end of the day, people who were on the sidelines are like, hey, look, you can't see prices, for some of these cards. They're not going to go to zero, some people would say, which I agree with. If it's a decent card, people are still going to pay for it, even if it's a PSA 8, CSG 8, SGC 8, BGS 8, whatever, and in the 9s or the 10s, people are going to still pay money for it. And crash, no crash, those cards will still be bought. Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, Tiger Woods, etc., etc., etc. people will still buy those cards. Granted, now I believe it's going to take time for some of these cards to go higher. I mean, you're not going to see the crazy amount of appreciation that we saw in 2020 and 2021. That was all this funny money from the government and the Federal Reserve. But there could be news events which make a card artificially go up in the short run, which you could exploit, right? Not a pump and dump, but okay, there's this news you didn't expect. So Tyreek Hill got traded, and probably there was more of a demand for Tua cards. And speaking of that, I actually bought a Tua card the day before Tyreek Hill got traded. I didn't even know anything about that. Now the guy hasn't shipped it out yet, but if he does ship it out, I'll show it to you. But it was the day before that trade. Now, the last point that Marks makes about this is the regularity with which that movement continues past the midpoint and toward the opposite extreme. And that opposite extreme, I believe, is most likely going to come in the next few years. That doesn't mean that people won't stop buying sports cards. I'm buying sports cards now, and I hope to buy more sports cards and hope to be more aggressive at that point. And the simple reason why I am not very aggressive right now is, look, if you look at the economy, you look at the yield curves. I look at the yield curve because the yield curves tells us, okay, what the hell is going on? The more upward sloping, the more optimistic these sophisticated investors are. Well, right now, the curve isn't really upward sloping. If you look at the long end of the curve, the 20s and the 30s, those are inverted. If you look at the 7 and the 10-year yields, that's inverted. 5 and the 10-year yield, I believe, is inverted, or if not inverted, it's flat. If you look at the 3 and the 10-year, that's inverted as of right now. The only thing, in my opinion, why the stock market keeps on going higher, and I'm bullish this year, is the short end of the curve. The Fed funds rate is, 25 basis points? The 10-year is, 2.5? That's upward sloping. So that's still positive for me. And how will that affect sports cards? If you have a recession, sports cards most likely won't be doing so hot. And in my opinion, during a recession, I want to be buying aggressively if I have the ability to do so. So yeah, I'm just trying to look at cycles, tie it into the markets, and then also tying it into sports cards. And yeah, I wanted to let you know what I think about all that. Anyways, guys, where you think we are in the cycle, and what are you buying at this point? Anyways, guys, I will talk to you later. And remember, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't, comment down below, guys. Thank you. Bye.